Raspberry squares. It's like a dough bottom that's crunchy, and then you put the raspberry on it, and then you put the filberts, is what we chopped up usually, on top of a meringue layer. Oh, those are so good, but they're also very fattening. Kind of gave up the sweets. All my brothers and sisters are basically vivacious, enterprising, kind of creative people. Probably don't like to sit still, and they want to go out and do things. They all like sporty stuff. I see that in them. Okay. Everything I even had from when I was young, they always said, oh, that got ruined in storage. Pictures. Oh, I hadn't even seen a picture of me younger than maybe 10. And then finally one day I found that one looking through some stuff of somebody's, and I went, oh, I think that's me on the swing. Look about 2 there. But that's what they said, pictures got ruined, so I didn't see much of that, didn't have any relatives around, and it's a miracle I get these genealogy callings. You'd think somebody was into it more would have, but no. So I don't have much passed down, no. I got my mom's wedding rings, though. That is one heirloom. Oh, occasionally, yeah. They're very much styled like this, only they were a little thinner and gold, and I joke about the diamond looks just as big, too. I heard stories about he had to keep coming back with a bigger diamond. My mom's maiden name was Ash.
Ash.
Uh-huh.
What was her full
Grace
name?
Ione Ash. And my dad's was Charles Henry Davis, born in 1894. Wow. So he was probably 11 years older than Mom, I expect. 1906. And he was 1894, yeah, it's about 10 years. Yeah, my perspective of that, I went to college going, yes, I'm not going to meet anybody I like till my junior year. That way I'll graduate. So I go in there, I'm wearing a freshman beanie thingy. It's like a Mickey Mouse you put ears on. They required this stuff. And you have to learn these songs. I went, I'm grown up now. I'm not going to do this stuff like a school kid. You know, I ignore that song junk. So I'm over there practicing piano, having a good time being at college. First, probably maybe second week of school, period. And here's Wendell. He comes in there with this horde of guys. I remembered the red-headed one, Jay Harding, I think his name was, Hardy. We ended up hiring his son for a while here. Small world. Anyway, they come tromping in there, and they're heckling me about, yeah, you couldn't wear lipstick either, mismatched socks and this crazy beanie. And they said, okay, we want you to sing the song. If you don't, we're going to throw you in the botany pond. Barbara told me how horrible the botany pond was. She was there the year before. Yeah, it's all mossy and yucky. It's just a pond by one of the buildings. So I'm like, oh, Katsuk. Well, no, I don't know it. I don't know the song. And I didn't notice Wendell going around behind me, sort of, but they were keeping me busy, and he's going for room number and stuff. So I didn't really look at him. And then they decided they heckled enough and turned all the lights in the whole darn building out. There's lots of practice rooms for people. They flipped the circuit breaker, and I thought, I'm going to go back to my room before I get in trouble. So I ran back there. And he takes the info, goes to his room, and calls me up. And I didn't believe in blind dates. So that was funny, because you go down to this lobby in the dorm where I was, and you meet somebody that you're going out with, and you have to sign out what time you left. And I thought, gosh, I won't know who he is out of these guys here. So I went over to the register to sign out, and he came up to me, and I went, okay, that worked. Well, the first date we went to, I guess it was kind of a formal dance. He told me the mat dances they have regularly are awful, no good, because he didn't want me to go. He thought I might meet somebody. And I went, really? They're no fun? Oh, huh. So I didn't, dumb me, I didn't go to meet other people. Oh, I should have. Anyway, we went to this formal, and we were dancing and doing a little bit of the jitterbuggy thing, and I thought, this isn't any different in high school. And Mom said it was so wonderful at college. This just seems very much the same sort of thing. And right about then, it was, you know, I wasn't talking. Wendell says, so what are you thinking? I can't say I'm thinking this is boring. I said, oh, I was just noticing all the pretty colors, everybody swirling. And so then he says the magic thing. So have you ever been water skiing? I'm like, boing. He got my attention. I went, oh, I've always wanted to do that. I watched those Florida Everglade people, you know. Oh, I wanted to do that. So he's telling all about how he learned to water ski down here at Back Bay. Got my attention. That was a good one. Yeah, like he was saying, he did this little whistle while we were dating for a few months there, and I wasn't thinking marriage. I had all those years of school to do. So, and then I thought, oh no, he couldn't be saying that, but he was. A little whistle, will you marry me thing. So then he knew I wasn't ready to hear that. And then he wanted to take me down at spring break to meet his family. So I go, okay, because the school just goes and closes down, you know, nothing there. So I go, okay. My parents said, yeah, okay, you could. So we go down there, and he comes in his parents' bedroom where I was, and he starts kissing me, and I feel this ring slipping on my finger. Oh my gosh, I guess I'm engaged. And I think I teased you about not saying, will you marry me, so you probably coughed it up. And you had taken me out in your Uncle Lavier's little boat, I guess it was his. And we went down to Back Bay and along the coast there, and went out and hiked in the little cliff things. And anything was fun to me, because mostly we worked at my house. We worked and studied. We did not do much play. So I thought that was fun. I wouldn't trade that for anything. Yeah, it was a new temple. They didn't even have the front doors working for years, and the rumor was they would open when Christ's coming, but they're open now, and he hasn't come, so much for rumors. Anyway, we went through the side door, and we got in there, and it seemed a little bit overwhelming, so many things to remember, but wow, it was an eye-opener about the world and the creation. And then we get to the ceiling. That was my most special memory. We went in there, and I didn't have a room full of people like you guys do now, because my family was way up in the north. They couldn't even come to the wedding. So all that was there was your dad and mom, and one man for the other witness, I believe, and the sealer. But it was so special. We're across that altar, and I can still see him exactly. I think the mirror was behind you, right, more close to it. It seemed close to it anyway. And you had your neat hat and your clothes, and you looked so special. I still remember exactly how you looked. So that was my special memory. I think he's really still the same guy I married, that I dated. He really is him. Our famous line was, one of our first dates, he took me over to the bonfire at college, where you do the college sports burn thing. And it was so quiet in the car, the flames are going away. And so I finally said, well, it looks like the flames burned down some, you know, make a conversation. So what's this he say? He says, no, they haven't. And I go, I got a date disagreeing with me, and I'm making conversation? I was just thinking that. And he says, yeah, they haven't. I said, oh, come on, they have. They've gone down some. No, I know they haven't, because I had this spot on the windshield mark, and they're still leaping right to it. Boy, into that conversation. And you know what? He is exactly like that to this day. We could argue any time over that exact same thing, because he would do that. I know it.
We don't argue.
No, I know how you think now. Oh, I like the way he is so... what's that word? Not devious, not complex. He is what he thinks and believes and does are all one. So he's down to earth, and you can count on him. He's reliable, dependable. He took it seriously about earning a living. It was the job of the provider. He took that seriously. That's his job. A lot of guys today don't. I think they don't care if the wife is helping out a whole bunch there. But he really takes that serious. And he has become a very, he flexed a lot when it came to family, because he thought he had a lot of kids when we had 2 kids. That was plenty there. Now we've got it. And I went, no, wait, we haven't got a family yet. And then he adjusted to all that. And I love watching him as a grandparent, because he just loves the hugs and kisses part. And that's so different when they're 19. So he's still... Wendell, he still thinks the way Wendell thinks, and you can count on it. I love having 2 brains. If I don't see something from the whole perspective, I'll say da-da-da, and he thinks from that perspective. You put that together, you get a lot better picture. So, yep, he's okay. Well, you do have to absolutely have trust and honesty. It's very important. My dad drilled honesty into us. I don't think I'm good at lying at all. So in our relationship, we constantly say, aren't you glad that you're the first person in your life? You know, we're the first person for each other. And that we were married forever is very important. We like that very continuous feeling it's going to be forever. And I hope we get to create lots of things in the next life. Actually, they fooled me. The doctor got fooled. He thought I was pregnant. It was actually a cyst that was enlarged. So after 3 months he went on some big long month trip, and we went back, and he goes, "Oh, no, you have a cyst. Take some thyroid." Like, huh? So then we did get pregnant later, not much later after that. And that time it was real. That was great. So we were ready. They just fit them.
What was one of your proudest moments as a parent?
It never ends. You watch your children growing and learning and doing and facing really difficult things, and you're proud of them for not giving up and for keeping on trying, and it's very difficult. You cry with them, and I think the proudest moment is that you have children that are honorable and good and are trying very hard to raise good families. It's a very good thing to be proud of. I think growing up, the biggest thing we shared was church. My dad was a strong testimony. And it took me a couple of years after I was married to realize I depended on his testimony, and I'd better go get my own because it's different when you don't have that same old dad there that's... He taught it so honest that if we found a quarter in a store, we had to give it to the clerk. That was really going the extra mile, I think. Way different story there. That's one other thing I really like about Wendell. He has all these things that are fun. Like, wanted to do hang gliding, so he built a bamboo glider. That was a bulky thing that people got a little bit hurt in, but then we went to some that really did glide, and I even did that, and it was fun. And ended up on the register, front page of the woman's section. The next week, John Wayne's wife was on there. I just laughed at that. All this church work, and what did I get in the paper for? A hang glider, I'm sure. It's like a circus stunt. But it was fun. We did it together as a family. It's what made it fun. Clear down to Nathan, who was so little. He was in the little junior high school magazine with his hang glider. They really pick up on that stuff for news. Well, I was lying there out there in the berry fields earning money for college, and I looked in the books and I went, oh, I'd love to take these science classes, but I'll probably get married, and if I get married, probably business classes would be way more practical. So I picked business classes. Then you get to college and you only get to take a few in the first 2 years, but I had the good old 10 key, and all the rest of the machines in that class are gone because of computers. So big deal on that. I ended up picking business for the career just because it's practical. But I still think science would be awesome. Well, at this point in life, if I had the years that you need to be in that profession, right now it's a bit old, they probably wouldn't say I could go do it. Oh my gosh, it'd be fun to do one of those oceanographer things, or a naturalist that goes out on the trips and talks about the gorillas and this and that. Oh, that'd be an awesome job. But you'd have to train for that in school, and then could you have babies? You can't have babies in careers. I like ballet too, but you can't do that and have babies either. I think honesty was really a big one. Morality, being chaste. My dad taught strongly on being a spiritual person. If you looked in the mirror too long, you're probably vain. You know, as the way it was back then in my life. What accomplishments? Oh, it has to be my family. I got through and was looking for something really important to do. Wendell says, I don't think you're going to find anything as important as raising the family, and he was right. But it was fun to go out and learn to be a pilot just for the change, you know. I was really out of the house then. And some of our trips where we get to see the animals on the earth, love it, just love it. That's where I got the idea. I would have liked being a naturalist. Yeah. I think that I tried to live pretty much in a path that Jesus said, and that you can tell you loved your family, and that you were doing basically good things with your life.